Alright, round 3 for this evening. We have Jordi on the left. He's playing lands. He's a pretty well-known lands player. He also has a YouTube by the name of Netherlands, which is just a terrific name, to be honest. Like, just absolutely great. He's on a mulligan to 6. His opponent Vincent is on a mulligan to 4. He is playing his Blood Eldrazi deck. Now, for those of you who didn't see yesterday's video, where we also had Vincent, the Blood in Blood Eldrazi is referring to Blood Sun, land which turns off all non-mana abilities, so no wastelands, no fetch lands, but you can still use all your mana, all the colors that you would expect from your lands. Now, we see a relatively new card from Jordi coming out here, Valakut Exploration. Every time Jordi plays a land, he exiles the top card of his deck. He can play those cards this turn, and then at the end of the turn, any card he doesn't play goes to his graveyard and deals 1 damage to Vincent. Now, Vincent, despite going on a mulligan to 4, does have a Chalice on 1. And looks like that's about all he has for now. Whereas Jordi just really showing the power of playing Explore, playing Valakut Exploration, because Valakut Exploration can actually still play the lands that you find, so it's a really good engine here. And just incredible amounts of gas here. Actually, I think Vincent is already at 15, but he is getting ported here. And yeah, Lance is normally a very slow and grindy deck, but it seems Jordi has had a pretty explosive start here. He's already on a Rishadan port. Now he's on 2 Rishadan port. He has a Karakas. Now I don't think the Karakas is going to do very much against just Eldrazi in general, at least the Eldrazi in Vincent's deck. It's not so much Emrakul as it is just Matter not Matter Reshaper. Thought Knot Seer and Reality Smasher. Those are the ones I'm thinking about. Sylvan Library as well from Jordi, and I think we might be going to game 2 here. Now, I would imagine this is a pretty good matchup for Lance. Just Vincent's deck is very dependent on soul lands, which means these Rishadan ports are really effective. It is very dependent on just a couple of creatures attacking, like 1 or 2 Eldrazi, so a Maze of Ith is also going to be very relevant. Now, the Punishing Fire is maybe not as relevant, as you'll usually need 2 or 3 of those to kill something, though Vincent is playing the Rabble Master, which is a very good target for Punishing Fire. Double Valakut Exploration doing some incredible work here. Finding Wasteland, we see Maze of Ith, we see just a bunch of cards. Ancient Tomb, tapping 2 Rishadan ports, tapping everything down. I believe it was 3 damage for Vincent. Just a lot happening right now. Going full speed here. And Vincent decides, you know what, I've seen enough. We'll go to game 2. Vincent on play here for game 2. Both players keeping their 7, and we have a turn 1 Rebel Master coming out. Now, that's more like it. That's what Vincent wants to see. Just instant pressure. Go white. Just say no to Maze of Ith. Say no to whatever it is Jordi's doing here. Now, it doesn't look like Jordi has a Punishing Fire. So this Rebel Master might be able to take away with this game. But we'll have to wait and see. City of Traders, not the greatest turn 1 play, to be fair, but it could be worse. Mox Diamond. For Jordi here, I think Jordi is holding an Urza Saga and thinking of throwing it away. Urza Saga, of course, the talk of town with Modern Horizons 2. A lot of people feel very strongly that it's too strong for Legacy. A lot of people feel it's too strong for Modern. As far as Modern is concerned, I think it's fine. Personally, I understand why people think it may be too strong, but I think it's just limited enough to where it can actually be answered. Meanwhile, we see Jordi bolting the Rebel Master and a Thought-Knot Seer coming out from Vincent. Ooh, that Thought-Knot Seer finding some great targets. Valakut Exploration and Sylvan Library, just terrific targets here. But you can only take one. Vincent, you can only take one. Now, again, Urza Saga I think is fine. It's just slow enough. Like, what it does is powerful, absolutely. Absolutely, no doubt about it. But you are spending a lot of mana, and it does take a few turns to actually get it going. But we'll have to wait and see. If anything, I think there are bigger problems for Modern Horizons 2. Though, honestly, like, the card I'm thinking of is Ragavan, and even Ragavan, probably Ragavan itself isn't the problem, it's just the Delver Shell, which is the conversation we've been having for months now, it feels. Maybe years. I know some of you will have probably been saying this for the past decade, but yeah, that's definitely something that's happening. We have Reality Smasher coming out from Vincent here after taking the Valakut Exploration. Just gonna put some incredible pressure on the board here. Smasher is gonna get removed from combat. That is still 5 damage. And that is still a very real clock here. Now, Vincent did take the Valakut Exploration with the Thought-Knot Seer. And Jordi drew Life from the Loam and is now dredging the Life from the Loam. Now, if Jordi can find a Wasteland, that would be insane. That would pretty much deny Vincent mana for the rest of the game, I want to say. Like, he could, in theory, just play some Chrome Mox, play some basic mountains, but I don't think at that point Vincent is going to be able to reliably cast his Eldrazi. Now, he could hold the land, play it to play the Eldrazi, and then lose it afterwards, but that's a rough place to be in. Now, thankfully, he does have creatures on board, so we'll have to see. Seems Jordi is floating one colorless from the Saga and is using the trigger to get a expedition map, which is most likely gonna get Wasteland. I don't see Wasteland in his hand. Actually, he does have one in the graveyard, so we'll see. It's gonna pick up the Saga, it's gonna pick up the Wasteland, and just as I'm talking about how Saga needs some time, Jordi just found a bunch of time, it seems. Not too much time. Like, he still has to deal with the Thought-Knot Seer attacking every turn. Exploration on the board, so he also has 2 land drops. I would imagine that's going to be the Saga and the Wasteland. Yeah. Gonna get rid of one of those temples. And passes the turn. Yeah, this is where Lance shines. Like, you're not really attacking that efficiently. You don't have that many lands, and Vincent has no way of interacting with Life from the Loam. Now, he could, in theory, play a Blood Sun. That would turn off Wasteland, that would turn off Urza Saga for the most part. Oh, actually, that's a good question. If you have a Blood Sun, for those of you who don't know, Blood Sun removes all abilities, I think, that aren't mana abilities. Now, I don't know how that interacts with Urza Saga. Does that mean Urza Saga doesn't get counters anymore? Is it that how that works? Because if so, then the Saga is suddenly just... I mean, I don't know. Oh, and the Blood Sun was there, but not going to be able to break through the Tabernacle from Jordi here and the Maze of Ith, and that's going to be a really quick 2-0 from Jordi here.